If you've ever found yourself post-breakup eating ice cream underneath a pile of soggy tissues, y'all, watching a sappy romance movie, you're probably all too familiar with the cinematic works of Nicholas Sparks. This author and screenwriter has been in the business of setting unattainable movie relationship goals for years. And today we're ranking all of his movies from worst to first. I'm gonna go ahead and issue a spoiler alert right here, people. Don't keep watching this thing unless you're okay with knowing some possible spoilers. Okay, at number 10, we have Dear John. I hate to say it, but movies like Dear John tend to give the romance movie genre a bad name.
Well, you scare me.
This love story centered around Channing Tatum, who plays an army soldier who falls in love with Amanda Seyfried's college student character during his 2-week leave from service. After being called back to duty, Tatum and Seyfried try to keep their 2-week-old love alive by writing letters back and forth to each other, and let's just say that it does not lead to a successful long-distance relationship. By the way, in case you didn't know, a letter is a note on a piece of paper that was created by the process of a human being using one of these things and writing words on it. That's a letter. Without giving away too many spoilers, this movie, like a lot of Sparks' movies, takes an unexpected, strange, and super depressing turn, and the chemistry between Seyfried and Tatum could not be more forced and more dull. At number 9 is The Longest Ride. Another far-fetched Sparks love story with an interesting twist came riding into theaters by way of The Longest Ride. Now, hunky Scott Eastwood plays a bull-riding Luke who chooses this insane career because, quote, it's all he knows. Now, Luke falls for Britt Robertson's Sophia, who's an art major about to embark on her dream big city job. They fall in love and all that other good stuff. But what you don't bargain for is that going into the theaters, there's this whole other love story that's intertwining between two other characters that you don't really care about, and it's more distracting than inspiring. Next up at number 8 is Safe Haven.
Today with you, this is probably the first time that I've looked up.
It's a perfect day.
Perhaps one of the most bizarre Nicholas Sparks twists popped up during the 3rd act of Safe Haven, which is why it's placed at number 8 on our list. And we won't really spoil the big moment for you, but let's just say it's cray. The general story is about Julianne Hough's character, Katie, a woman on the run who moves into a new town to hide from some major problems from her past. She meets a widower by the name of Alex, played by, Josh Duhamel, who she of course falls in love with because look at this man. He is gorgeous. And things get, of course, romantic, and then they get very complicated. The thing that makes Safe Haven so unique is that it plays out kind of more like a thriller than a romantic drama, and in doing so gets some major WTF points from us. At number 7, we have The Lucky One.
There's something that I've been meaning to tell you.
I'm sorry, I can't find the right words.
Finding something like that in a war, it's like finding an angel.
I know, a movie with a shirtless Zac Efron only making it to number 7 on our list. Hurt me too, y'all. But come on, you guys, this movie was #basic. Zac plays an ex-soldier who finds a photo of Taylor Schilling's character during war. And once he's home, he vows to find the mysterious woman who saved his life. Through a photograph, y'all. It is just ridiculous. And you can probably guess what happens next. These two meet, they hesitantly fall in love, but it just felt so weird because Zac kind of seems so young and Taylor Schilling felt so much older than him, even though in real life she's not. I don't know, maybe it was because she was taller, or they dressed her in granny sweaters, or the fact that her kid listened to them brown chicken, brown cow up in the attic.
Mom!
What is it, sweetie?
The ice cream is melting. Can I just eat it?
Just put it in a bowl first.
Okay.
I don't know, but their love scenes were this close to just confusing my feels. But one movie we did not feel uncomfortable watching was The Last Song, which comes in at number 6.
Best first date of my life.
It was not a date.
Well, we could make it one. You don't mind coming to work with me?
Now, Now, not only did this thing star Hannah Montana, y'all, you could totally feel the connection between a young Miley Cyrus and her co-star and future fiance slash future ex-fiance, Liam Hemsworth. However, despite the fact that we all went out to see this thing because of our love for pre-Wrecking Ball Miley, par for the Nicholas Sparks course, the last song was a pretty sappy and definitely cheesy mess. But even still, Sparks somehow managed to squeeze out just a couple of tears from her eyes, and that's gotta count for something. Coming in at number 5 is Nights in Rodanthe, which is kind of a throwback Nicholas Sparks flick that came out back in 2008. The story centers around a much older couple falling in love later in life, played by Oscar nominee Diane Lang and Golden Globe winner Richard Gere. And it wasn't really marketed towards the teen audiences the way that other Nicholas Sparks movies are. While still in the cheesy, ridiculous love story vein, this movie is much more mature and much more grounded, and the intense chemistry happening between these two very talented actors really carried the movie, which is one of the reasons why it lands at a much higher spot on our list. Yep, we are already at number 4 on our list, and the best of me lands this next spot. Now, this love story had all of the ingredients of the perfect Nicholas Sparks flick. Disapproving parents trying to keep young teenage soulmates apart, but then there's a terrible situation that keeps said teenage lovers apart anyway, and someone dies, of course, and the two teenage soulmates find each other again, but only to face more life-altering tragedies. It's a hook, line, and sinker Nicholas Sparks drama and will keep you engaged despite the fact that young Luke Bracey looks way too old and way too different to play a young James Marsden. But we guarantee you probably won't care too much about it once you're crying your eyeballs out. For our 3rd spot, we're throwing it back to the OG of Nicholas Sparks movies, Message in a Bottle. Now, this was the very first ever Nicholas Sparks movie back in 1999. Now, this movie has Sparks' signature epic love story and epic heartbreak stamp all over it. Is it cheesy? Yes. Is it a little unbelievable? Probably. A woman finds a man after reading a message that she finds in a bottle in the ocean, and then she falls in love with him. Has that ever happened before? I'd guess not. But that's why we love Nicholas Sparks, you guys, because he can get us all swept up into a love story that could never happen to us ever, but we actually set our real-life expectations as if they could. These top 2 Nicholas Sparks movies truly hold a very special spot in our hearts, and holding it down at number 2 is A Walk to Remember.
I have leukemia.
So why didn't you tell me?
The doctor said I should go on and live life normally as best I could.
Now, before The Fault in Our Stars broke your heart over a teenage love never being fully realized, A Walk to Remember did it first. Shane West played a bad boy who couldn't help but fall in love with the charming preacher's daughter, played by Mandy Moore, who was in her acting prime, let me just say. Only to find out that she, spoiler alert here, has been diagnosed with cancer and won't make it to see the end of the freaking movie. It's so sad. Their unconventional road to love had its rough patches, but their journey is so precious and their love story so sweet that I can guarantee ugly cries will just take over your face. Oh, and bonus points goes out to A Walk to Remember soundtrack for being so awesome. And finally, at number 1, as if you couldn't already guess, we have chosen one of the sweetest love stories of all time between Noah and Allie in The Notebook.
Because I want you. I want all of you, forever, you and me, every day.
And if I'm being real with y'all, my eyes have never seen anything hotter than a wet Ryan Gosling making out with and declaring his love for a wet Rachel McAdams during an unexpected rainstorm. The Notebook is by far one of Sparks' best movies to date. It's the creme de la creme, and the chemistry between Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling was so infectious and hypnotizing. This beautiful and wild love story is one that transcended distance and hardships, disease, and even death, and you will fall in love with love 100 times over before the credits roll. And so will your boyfriend, even though he probably won't admit it. Okay, so that is our official ranking of all of Nicholas Sparks' movies. Now, I know that some of you may disagree with our final list, and that is totally okay. We just ask that if you do disagree with our list, list your ranking in the comment section below. Also, if you want to check out our list of the best movie couples, you can do that by clicking right there. Thanks so much for watching Clevver. I'm Erin Robinson, and I'll see you soon with more from Hollywood.